Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher, and today we're going to take a look at Diva dance, rock and roll, the rock and roll version. In the Diva dance, we'll call it a trilogy. There are three different tangles. They're all similar, but with three different names. So we have the foxtrot, the waltz, and rock and roll. And so I'm just going to focus on this one. I'll do some other videos on the other two. But also in the description, I'm going to put a link to the Zentangle blog that introduces these, because there's some really neat inspiration, some other ideas, and an explanation of the Diva dance trilogy or series, whatever you want to call it. In there. So I'm going to put that in the description so that way you have access to that. This is a fun tangle. I really like this one. So it starts essentially with a spiral. If you've done, so there's two tangles, Printemps and Crescent Moon. If you've done both of those, this is kind of like a mashup a little bit, in my mind, of these two tangles. Now, you start off with, basically, like I said, a spiral. And I would just do, like, what is that? Like a turn and a half or two turns, something like that. And then what we do is we add bumps. Now, the bumps can be whatever shape you want. I've seen them a lot of times. Actually, I've seen them, kind of elongated. Mine end up looking more like crescent moon, and it's one of those where sometimes it's hard to change that kind of a, I don't know if I want to call that a habit. It's just kind of like a style or something. It's just sometimes it's hard to do it a different way. But they're kind of bumpy. So again, don't worry about what shape. Don't worry about taking a look at mine. And that's why I wanted to put that in the comment section also, so you can see some different ways people do it, just so that way you can see that. Now, what happens next is then we aura, and we continue to aura around and around. And for those that are new to Zentangle, to aura is essentially to outline. So what I've done is I've added some bumps, around what's there. And so now it's time to aura. So I'm going to continue this line, and I'm continuing around, but I'm auraing around these new bumps that I've created. So every bump, then every divot, we just want to, like I said, if you think of it as an outline, that makes it a little easier. And then when we come to the end, and so then what's on the very outside is just a line again. Then let me, before I say you can add some bumps, which is what I'm going to do, you can go around twice if you want to, 3 times. That's up to you. Personally, I like to, I get to the end, and then it's like, okay, well, let me see where I want to add some more bumps. And like I said, sometimes they can be, more mountainous. They can be, like that. Again, it's completely up to you. And so I will go around and add, and I kind of like to space them out and alternate them a little bit. And then when you feel like you're done, then it's okay. It's time to aura again. And then we aura basically the new surface, because every time we add some bumps, it changes. And then again, you get to the end of those bumps there. Okay, now it's time to add some more. And again, they can be different shapes. So like that one, I made this one just a little bit long. A lot of times in my mind, I try to have them like balance each other out, for lack of a way of saying it. Better way of saying it, I mean. And sometimes this one is good. Just don't think too much about it. Just kind of enjoy it as it goes. This is an organic tile or tangle, sort of, except that it's we're going around. Versus if you've done the tangle poke root or poke leaf, or even Rixty, and there's a few other ones where they really do look like plants, and they kind of grow off of themselves. where you can kind of create a forest type of thing. So it's similar to that, but we're just continuing to have it grow outwards. And then depending on, how things go, how your bumps go, just it kind of takes on its own life. Now, one of the neat things I've seen this is the way I've seen this done is kind of with like as if you had too much coffee, where the lines are, a little bit jagged. And I think that those look really neat. Unfortunately, I seem to do mine in a similar way each time. I keep trying, keep working at it, finding different things to try, and then going for it. But this one, like I said, you can go as far or make it as big as you want. What I would normally do, except this is a Zentangle Quickie, so I'm not going to fill the entire space, but typically that's what I would end up doing. But again, just taking turns between adding bumps and auraing. And again, you can aura, take it around a couple times if you want to, or just take it around once. Like I said, like here, so I have these little, like a crevice. I was like, well, I think let me fill that one in. And this, I have a bit of a space, so I'll add something. And then also, I just have to work to keep it symmetrical, because if I have one that is a little bit too big, then that side is going to grow a little bit faster every time you aura it, because we're just expanding what we have. So then I'll balance it off on the other side with a with a bump that would make it kind of even out. And like I said, I end up, so here I have one, and then I have these two, and I'm almost like alternating the spaces of those. And then mine end up looking more flower-ish when I get them done. So to end this one, whenever you want to end it, find your whenever you say, okay, I think I'm done, and then you can do this. You can you could just bring it right in if you want. You could probably just leave that line hanging if you wish. And that is Diva Dance. It's it's one of those nice tangles that's so simple, because we're just doing the same thing over and over again, and we don't have to think. We can just kind of lose ourselves in it. And it's just super nice. Now for shading, there's a number. Well, there's always a number of ways we can do it. Let me share some examples. Well, this one, let me just share just with this. Well, the one thing I love to do the most is just do the exterior. You could do, and actually this one is big enough, I could probably also do around inside a little bit. But generally, I don't necessarily do anything on the inside. But this one is just nice. So if I had done, well, and I'll show you on these examples, if I had done more on this page, and then I can bring this one up over the other ones by just doing this simple, adding the graphite to the exterior and using the tortillon to smudge it out a little bit. And sometimes too, if you get darker around the edge, then it makes that division more, and it really pops it out a lot. But you can see how that just all of a sudden, that brings it right off the page. I have toyed with this idea of putting some like kind of around, like picking a spiral. Well, actually, maybe I don't even have to use a spiral, but kind of going around like a part, in the middle. Let me just do that really quick here. So you could follow one of the spirals around, to a certain point, and then stop, and then by smudging it out, and you can see how all of a sudden, this has been brought up even higher, so it adds some layers to the Diva Dance. That's, like I said, that's something that I play with every now and again, because I think that it's a neat look, but most times I will just do the exterior. And let me show you some examples. And then also, let's see, start with this one first. This one, and I've done the exterior of this space. And this is one that I did just one diva dance, and then I kept working at utilizing the hollow bow technique, so drawing underneath and imagining that, you know, it's just growing and growing and growing. And then over here I was just kind of, I think, making it up as I went along, but it still looks really neat. But yeah, the curve is a little bit different. But there, I just filled up a space, and that works really nice. And then here, I did several, filling up several spaces, and then this one, the graphite is just around the perimeter, and that was, you know, and that was it. Nothing on the inside, just the perimeter. And then this one, yeah, this one. So I obviously I did 3, and then I did graphite around the perimeter of them, but this one was the one I did all the way around. So that one brought this one up above these 2, and just gives it some layering. And then I did these to a certain size, and then I just did a simple auras to continue out into the rest of the space that I had. So there's some options for you, and it's a tangle that has a lot of versatility, a lot of fun, and I hope you enjoy it. I hope to maybe see some of your work. In the description also are links to for the step outs, number 1, and also if you wish to connect on Facebook, we have a nice group that is happening on there, and where we're sharing work and examples and having some really nice conversations. So I wish you happy tangling, and I think that's it. So rock and roll.